Oh, hello. My name is Tom. This is the Enthusiasm Project, and this is my studio tour video.
Yay! That was so good!
So today I wanted to do a studio tour of the room that I use to film most of my videos. And I use the term studio kind of loosely because it's a spare bedroom in our house and it's also full of a lot of other stuff. But there's a lot of stuff in here. I've gotten some questions about it, so let's go through it all together. First, this is just a spare bedroom. It's kind of just regular bedroom size. It's 12 feet by 12 feet, and I have a lot of hobbies, so I'm kind of running out of space. Before I had a YouTube channel, like 3 years ago, this was just sort of my music room and my office, where I had like a desk against the wall with my computer and instruments. And then when the YouTube channel started, that kind of took over. So like I have my desks here, and I have Heather helping me to film, so thank you. I have my desks here, which is an insane place. Like, why would I want to sit here and stare at the closet? But for videos, maybe like 2 years ago, I kind of went through and from the lens of the camera, I looked at what looked best, and I like the blue wall, which I've had for years, and having a desk here with the background just made sense. So that's why I set it up that way. But the biggest thing in this room is this drum set here. If I didn't have this, I would have so much more room for video and activities and stuff. But I'm not going to get rid of the drum set, even though it takes up like a quarter of the space, because I wanted a drum set for like 20 years. From like the time I was 10 years old, I wanted one, but just couldn't get one as a kid. Then I lived in apartments for a long time, and drum sets are big and they're loud. So at the time I was turning 30, like 4.5 years ago, I decided this is the time to jump in and get a drum set. I got the drum set. It'd be much easier to not have it in here, but I love it. It's really fun. It's the best therapy in the world. And fortunately, having it in the background is nice because the cymbals are nice and shiny. And so when the lights reflect on them, it actually looks kind of cool. So there's a lot of music stuff in here. There's the drum set. There's my bass guitar back there. I've been playing guitar a lot longer than drums. So like this is my oldest one from August of 2002. I bought this with my first paycheck from my first job. It's a Fender Telecaster. So I have 2 Telecasters, 2 Stratocasters, and a random other Ibanez guitar, which is very cool too. Then I have my guitar amp, then my bass amp, and that's kind of like most of the music stuff sort of smashed over here. And then artwork on the wall, the blue wall, most of it is Aquabats related, which is my favorite band. A lot of the artwork, and on here too, aside from the Futurama poster, is from Parker Jacobs, who's part of the Aquabats, and he's also the art director for Yo Gabba Gabba. And fortunately, a couple years ago, I actually got him to come to my high school class and teach like a 2-day workshop for my students, and it was amazing. This little cabinet here has some 3D printing stuff in it, and then I usually put my lights in it to lighten it up while I film. These 3 lights are all Philips Hue bulbs. Philips Hue lights are great because they can be any color and they don't flicker, but they're really expensive and they're not very bright, so I don't have that many of them. I have 2 of these cheapo Amazon LED panels in the corner to put colors up. They're much brighter, they're much cheaper, but they also flicker. So in my B-roll video, I even explain kind of how to fix that flicker. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put a thing right there for that. Then I have my record player, my 3D printed water tower for my 3D printed water tower video, which has nothing to do with cameras, but is one of my favorite videos ever. We got my desks, which are actually not desks, they're Home Depot workbenches. I just really like them because they're super strong. I think they're supposed to support up to like 2,000 pounds, which is way heavier than anything I would ever put on them. But I like the way they look. They work really well, they're super strong. We have 2 of them here. Heather has one in her office as a desk, and there's also one in the garage. I've got my chair, which is just an IKEA chair that I really like. It was not very expensive, but I really like it. But we'll get it out of the way for right now. Then I've got my Rodecaster over here with pod mics, my Ronin gimbal, and the Yeti mic, which I've been using a lot more since we've been stuck at home, doing a lot of Zoom meetings and virtual meetings and things, and I always want mine to look and sound the best. Let's see. Oh, this is my backlight that I've been using. It's just a small battery operated light, which I usually have on the floor, but I've been trying to position it up and I don't have the right thing to do that. So this is an old light stand with an extension for the gimbal. So I actually have this handle on my gimbal to make it easier, which is really cool. And then this tube can go on the bottom to make it taller so you can get like high shots and low shots. But I just took it and put it on the ball mount from my Joby GorillaPod, and it's so lightweight that I've been using it as a backlight to kind of give a nice ring of light. And it makes a difference. If you don't have a backlight, you just kind of blend in with the background, but if you have one, it just sort of creates like a ring of light. It kind of shines up the hair a little bit and pulls you out from the backdrop. Down here is Ben the dog, who's just taking a shower right now. And then I have a little cart of some synthesizers that I didn't have room for on the desks. I've talked about this light before. This is a little Dracast like soft panel light, but I use it as a fill light and I just bounce it off of the white curtains. And it really makes a difference. It doesn't feel like it sometimes, but when I'm sitting here and filming, it really fills in the shadows. I've got this little monitor. I got it to make my first YouTube video with ever because my camera didn't have a flip out screen. And it's kind of a piece of junk, but it works enough. This is the control box for my light, which is the Falconize 18-inch flat panel. I'm gonna do a review video on this light. I love it and it's amazing and it's super bright. And then this is my audio thing, which I did a whole video about. It's a Rode boom arm with an articulating arm and an adapter for the video mics so you can position it exactly where you need it. This room isn't audio treated, as I'm sure you might notice sometimes. And so getting this as close to me as possible makes a big difference. This has become my little work from home station for school stuff. I still actually prefer to use this thing, which I talked about in a video, and Heather got one too, so now both of us have one and we can sit on the couch with them. For some school stuff and for like Zoom meetings and things, just having a nice setup here works well. I got this light yesterday, which I'm excited about. I'm sure we'll talk about it. It's a little aperture, I think, what is it, the MC? Because it's a multicolor light and it's also magnetic. It's actually like a super strong magnet. There. So I'm excited for that to kind of add to this little light. I love these because for B-roll of things, to place them around and add accents is really cool. If I'm filming a video, I might take something like this and put it just over there like that, so in the background you have something more interesting than nothing. And that's kind of what this thing is for too, this little monitor stand. I usually put it over here when I'm doing B-roll, and I really like the black reflective surface. That's all in my B-roll video that I made. I have my notebook with my ideas and a note so I don't forget to put all those little lights around before I go film. And then moving on to closet and equipment and stuff. So this is my C-stand. Did a whole video about this. There's a theme here of me having done videos about most of this stuff and try to get that out of the way. This is where my camera, the EOS R that Heather's using, normally is. It's just a Manfrotto tripod with a tripod head, but it's on the Edelkrone slider. And then I made a video about 2 years ago where I reorganized my closet for equipment and gear. Put a light in here and make it bright. Here, watch. Magnet light to the rescue. So this top shelf is where all my cameras are. There's the 6D Mark II, the EOS R, which is the one Heather's using right now. I have my Sony RX100 Mark V, and then my GoPro 7 and my GoPro 5. Then I've got some filters and things. I've got my lenses down here. Canon 24-105, Canon 16-35, Canon 35 2.0, and then normally the Sigma 24 1.4 is right here. Some audio stuff. This is the Rode Wireless Go, which is the thing I'm using right now for audio. Got like my 3D printed tripod head. This is a lens I rented. It's the RF 24-105 because I wanted to see if there's a difference between the EF and the RF. I don't know yet. And then there's some sound stuff, some battery chargers, some small tripods, more chargers. For some reason, a bunch of retro stuff. So there's my old camcorder, my very first digital camera ever, and my old iPod that I fixed in a video, and it still works. It's turning on. Down on this shelf is mostly just sort of bigger things like my teleprompter, some adapters, and the bottom is all the bags. Like my light came in this amazing case that I'm never gonna use again, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's really nice, so I never know what to do with them. So I have my camera backpacks and things in there. I've also got my drones, the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Mini. I love those, they're amazing. And then in the closet, to try to keep things organized, I have these little pouches just hanging. This has like filters in it. This is everything for a GoPro. This one is like a travel survival kit, so it has all the adapters and things. If I need to go on a trip, I can just grab that. It has everything I need. And then the other side of this closet's a mess, but that's okay. There's a bunch of drum and music stuff in there, and I still have like headphones and some gear and adapters, and like kind of all the small little parts are over here, like tools and adapters and more little tools and all of these little things, because when you do videos and stuff, you always need a way to hook up something to another thing, and you need these little adapters to hook things to things and all of the things. So down here, where the dog is also where I keep my glide gear overhead rig, which I'm not going to take out because I don't want to disturb Ben right now. That's pretty much the main points of my home studio. It's really awesome, I think, to have a studio in your house because, like, you can just use it anytime you want. You can use it at night, you can use it in the morning, in the middle of the day, whenever. Everything is just here, accessible to you all the time, and I really love that. If you want to know more about the process that I use to actually make my videos, because you're like, wow, that studio is pretty cool, how does he make those videos? I actually also made a behind the scenes, how I produce a video start to finish, pre-production, production, and post-production. So I'll link to that video right here, and you can check that out, and I'll see you over in that video.